All right, everyone, we're back. Make sure your cameras are on, please. Everybody, cameras on. All right. Girl, make sure you change your name instead of the email. Put your name there. All right, guys. So we're going to be talking about initiating a mortgage loan. We're on page 7 of this chapter. So that's page 17. Okay, this chapter. Now, initiating a mortgage loan. When you start a mortgage loan, you start off by applying for a mortgage, right? And then the mortgage goes, and once you apply for the mortgage, you provide all the documentation. Then it goes through a process called underwriting. Now, underwriting is risk assessment. Underwriting is risk assessment. And what does that mean? It means they'll look at your application and then they'll figure out how much of a risk you are. Okay? Will you default on the loan or not? Okay, so that's what they'll be looking at. Let's start with loan application. Okay. Let's start with loan application. Loan application says most lenders use some version of the Uniform Residential Loan Application promulgated by Fannie Mae. You guys don't need to know this, but it's Form 1003. That's the application for Fannie Mae. We'll talk about Fannie Mae later. This form requests the borrower to provide information about the property, and the borrower. In addition, the application must include the supporting documentation as indicated in the following exhibit. So, property and borrower information. Property and borrower information. So, hold on, I'm so sorry. All right, so where was it? Property information, borrower information, support documentation. So things that they're going to look at when you're trying to apply for a loan is the age and year that it was built, the original cost, the year acquired, current loan balance, if it's a refinance, the age of the person, the employment history, the assets, education, monthly income and expenses, debts, appraisal report, purchase contract, credit report, income employment verification. What is your blood type? What is your cat's name? What's the period? What's your neighbor's name? Right? They'll ask for all this information. Please give us your firstborn before we actually approve you for the loan. Right? All this comes into a loan application, as you guys know. A bunch of things are being asked. But why are they asking these things? Again, it's for the risk assessment. Right? So that's the underwriting process, loan underwriting process, right? Right here. It's a risk assessment. So the loan underwriting is the process of assessing the lender's risk. in giving a loan. They're going to look at your ability to repay the loan, the value of the property that's being offered as a security, and determining the terms of the loan. What is the best? What is the optimal for you? Okay. The lender going to take several risks, obviously, if you stop paying, if the property goes down in value, and so on. Now, how do they qualify you? What is the qualification? So, as we said, you're going to provide personal information, you're going to provide property information, right? So once we check, can you afford it, right? We're going to check what's the value of the house, right? So the lender assesses the risk by examining or qualifying both the borrower and the property. In qualifying the borrower, the underwriting weighs the ability for the borrower to repay the loan, and this requires an analysis of whether the borrower's income, cash resources, creditworthiness, net worth, and employment meet the lender's standards. So if these are all okay to pay off the loan that you're trying to borrow, if these are all okay, then they give you a commitment. Okay? In that commitment, they're going to tell you also what type of loan do you qualify for and what is the down payment that you are required. How do we figure out down payments? The bank will give you what's called an LTV, or loan to value ratio. And it's very simple. Let me put it over here. The property, usually the property sells at appraised value, usually, right? But the property value is $100,000. And the bank says the LTV, or loan to value, is 80%. The difference between these two is called down payment. Okay? Now, let's assume property value is, let me change this a little bit here. So property value is 100%, okay? And that's $100,000 is the property value. If the maximum loan to value ratio is 80%, right? Then the loan amount is $80,000. How much is the down payment? Well, the down payment is always the difference between value and loan. So if we're buying the property for $100,000 and that's the value that was given, $100,000, let's say, and they give us an 80% loan, then the down payment is 20%. So that's $20,000. That's my down payment. If they said, so I'm just going to show you the relationship between these two. If they said $100,000 is the property value, or 100%, right? Oh, sorry. 100%. The down payment is 3%. In $100,000, that means $3,000 is the down payment. What is the LTV? So what I'm trying to show you real quick is that the difference between loan to value and property value is down payment. The difference between down payment and property value is LTV. So in this case, 97% LTV, or $97,000. So loan to value and down payment, they're interchangeable. They're all based on 100% value, right? So 100% down payment, purchase price or value, minus the down payment equals LTV. 100% minus the LTV equals down payment. They're always interchangeable. You good? Give me a thumbs up if you got it. Great. How do you qualify for a mortgage loan? Well, first of all, you need to understand one of the things we'll talk about discrimination. But one of the things is the Equal Credit Opportunity Act that says everybody is equal. As long as you got the income, right? And as long as you got the credit score, nothing else should matter. Doesn't matter if you're male, female, other, right? It doesn't matter if you're born in the United States or if you're born in a different country. It doesn't matter if you're from a particular color versus another. None of that matters. What matters is your credit qualifies and your income qualifies. So that's what ECOA, Equal Credit Opportunity Act of 1974, that's what it brings us. Equal opportunity to apply for a credit or a loan. All right? Now, we're going to go straight to, I just covered this. Qualifying the borrower. So we're on the 10th page, and that's page 252. Great question. So Tina says, I launder money. How can I get approved for a mortgage? She didn't get it. Tina. So she's asking, what if you get paid cash? How do you prove that? Right? That's what she's asking. Makes it tough, doesn't it? How do you prove if you make cash? Are you depositing the cash? All of it? No. Yeah. Tough. If you don't have, because self-employed, look, self-employed, we go through this. Right? Self-employed, sometimes we get paid cash. Then if you're getting paid cash, how can you prove? Then you have to go through 12 months. In some lending institutions, not all of them, but some say, hey, show me 12 months of bank statements where all the deposits are going in, that you're making X amount of dollars, right? And maybe we'll approve you. So it's your credit score plus 12 months of bank statements. Verifiable bank statements. So they'll ask something with a stamp from the bank or a certification from the bank that that's the true statement. Okay? And Lula, your income tax does not prove the cash. It proves whatever you declare. So I'm not saying bank statements prove the cash either, because people can just do so many things to show money in and out, right? But having two or three different ways to verify it, kind of, is a little stronger than just your taxes. Lenders might request for more information. Like, for instance, if you clean houses, as an example, they might request that your employers, the contracting employers, that they sign something that says, yes, it's true that this person works for me. Are you going to get it? It's going to be very difficult. Some people will be like, sounds fishy, so you're out of here. Right? Other people will be like, cool, I'll do anything for you. So when you get paid cash, things get difficult. Is it impossible? No, not impossible. Ed's asking, what about without a Social Security? Can I get an approval? So there are tax ID loans. The thing about tax ID loans right now, in some lenders have stopped them altogether during the pandemic. And then other lenders still have it, but it's high down payments. So anywhere between 20 to 30% down payments. And the interest rates are also a little higher. Instead of the 3%, they could be at 5, 6, 7%. But can you get it? Yeah, there's always a program for whoever wants to buy. Just you're subject to higher penalties. But can you? Yes. Ultimately, the answer is yes to anything. Just depends on how much risk you want to take. Tina, and if two people are on the loan, they go by both credit scores and whoever has the highest or lowest. I'll let you answer that one yourself. What do you think? Let me put on the screen for whoever's watching at home. So Tina asked, if two people are on the loan and they go by both credit scores, or whoever has the highest or the lowest? The answer is the lowest. So you could be damaging your significant other, yeah, or vice versa. Significant other could be damaging you. So sometimes that's why, yeah, more points for the bank. They'll charge you a higher interest rate. But that's why sometimes the loan officer will tell you, hey, go at this by yourself, or fix this or fix that, or add this or remove that from your credit, so you can move forward. Okay. So if one of the people on the loan has great credit, they don't even care. Again, sometimes just separate for that particular loan. Yeah. And Tina's going to go, well, but I'm the one with the cash and he's the one with the credit. Yeah? Okay, cool. Yes, so sometimes it happens like that. So if you're the one with the cash, how did I figure this out? Like, it's like, I could be on America's Got Talent, you know? The way I figure things, it's unbelievable. Anyway, what I would tell you, like if I was the loan officer, I was sitting down with you, I would tell you, hey, let's check your credit. It could be true with a lot of people, but the power of deduction, that's the way it is. But Richard, I'll take care of you in a second. Let me just finish this. So if I was a loan officer, or if you're sitting here with our loan officers, they would tell you, let's look at your credit and see what you need to fix, right? You need to change this, you need to change that, you need to add a secured credit card or unsecured credit card, you need to add a revolving loan, you got a collection, get rid of that collection. Like, we'll give you a few hints of what would be the optimal scenario to raise your credit. Then you take action on that. Maybe you cannot buy now, but you'll buy 30 days, 60 days, 90 days from now, right? And that's where a lot of realtors and lenders fail, because they all want the perfect deals. And the perfect deal is the one where you got an 800 score and you make a ton of money and you have no issues in your life, right? So pretty much 1% of the world qualifies for that. 99% struggle in some way or another, right? So do these deals come along where great credit and nobody cares about anything? Yes. Are they common? No. Majority of people have some type of struggle like this situation here. Richard, if I buy one house with my wife, how long can I... oh, in the loan. Okay, sorry, I didn't read the rest. Like, how long do I need so I can get rid of her, leave her alone? Okay, I'll buy her a house. I just want to get rid of it. You saw that, Jackie? Read that, Jackie, read. He wants to buy a house and then just leave you alone. That's it. Anyway. So how long can I leave her alone in the loan to see if I can buy another house in my name? So that depends. Depends on the type of loan that you're in. If it's an FHA loan, most FHA or VA loans, they require you to stay in the house for at least 1 year, right? And then there's another consideration, which is, did the market go up in value or did the market go down in value? Will you be able to refinance or get out? So it depends. Right? And then there's other situations. You're saying your wife, right? Now let me ask you. A lot of people, and I'm not saying you don't have to answer this. I know the situation's a little different, but a lot of people say, oh, my wife, right? But that's because you live together and you've been together forever, but you're not on paper. If you do your taxes separate, for instance, right, and you're not married on paper, maybe you qualify to buy another house right away. It's called a non-owner occupied, right? So you're being a co-buyer or co-signer for the loan on her house while being able to buy your house right away. So some lenders have no problem with that, okay? So you could potentially buy two houses at the same time, depending on how you structure the loan, okay? Jackie, I didn't try to say, look, Jackie, I didn't try to say that he was free. Okay, I'm not advertising him. Ladies, Richard is available. No, I'm not doing that. That's not what I was doing. So, like I said, I said right away, this scenario does not apply to you, what I was going to say. What I meant was certain situations you could take advantage of that. In your situation, you have to buy, like maybe depending on the financial qualifications will be both. And then a year from now, you'll be able to buy another one under, or reverse it under his or your name. You can, okay? I felt the death threat right there. Did you guys feel that? I felt it. That does not apply to him. Okay? We're married on paper. That's it. Anyway, Ruth is laughing. All right, back to this. So how do we qualify borrowers? We're going to look at the current income or assets. Current income or assets. We're going to look at the current employment status. We're going to look at credit history. The monthly payment for the mortgage. So it's the estimated monthly payment, right? Monthly payments being made on other loans on the same property. So if there's a second, third, fourth mortgage, whatever. Monthly payments for other mortgage-related expenses, and the monthly debt payments compared to monthly income, or DTI, which is a debt to income ratio. Next, we have qualified mortgage. So what is a qualified mortgage? Is one that meets the ability to repay requirements. So that means that it has certain required features and is not allowed to have others. There are exceptions to these rules in certain kind of small lenders, and issuing a qualified mortgage gives the lender certain legal protections in case the borrower fails to repay the loan. So generally, in a qualified mortgage, we're not allowed to have interest-only period when the interest but not principal is being repaid. If it's a qualified mortgage, we cannot have negative amortization. That means the principal, instead of going down, it goes up. Okay? In a qualified mortgage, we cannot have a balloon payment. That means it's a larger payment than the normal payment at the end of the loan term. And the loan term cannot be longer than 30 years or charge excessive upfront fees and points. So a qualified mortgage does not allow you to go overboard, let's go like that. So they're very safe, they're conservative. Generally, they require a monthly debt no more than 43% of monthly pre-tax income, and there's limits on points. So what are qualified mortgages? These include loans that can be bought by Fannie Mae or Freddie Mac or insured by certain government agencies. So qualified mortgages are the FHA, for instance. Okay, FHA is an example of a qualified mortgage, and the debt ratio 43%. We'll talk about that later. Hey Stacy, how are you? I see you there. Cool. She's apologizing. She's late on YouTube. That is funny. It's okay. You're only 2 hours and some odd minutes late. Okay. If only my students would, like the ones from the class here, the Zoom, would apologize, right? Unbelievable. Some say, oh, I'm feeling a little under the weather. I might join in late. Right, Miss Mother? Whining right before the class. Unbelievable. I'm telling you, there's this great green sauce that you should try. It helps clear everything out, man. All right. Ruth says, shame on you, Stacy. There you go. All right, valuations. So in the process, guys, in the process of getting approved, so we looked at your income, we looked at the property, we looked at your credit and all that good stuff, right? Now we're going to look at the property. Now we're going to evaluate the property. We're going to request that an appraisal is done. So that's the next step. We looked at you as an individual. Now we're going to look at the property itself. So we're going to notify the borrower. So before issuing the first loan mortgage, notify the borrower within 3 days of a loan application that a copy of the loan application, that a copy of any appraisal will be promptly provided. Provide the borrower with a free copy of any valuation used, including appraisal reports, automated valuation models, reports, and broker price opinions promptly, and no later than 3 days before closing. And provide these copies even if the loan does not close. What they're saying is, in the qualifying mortgage, they will evaluate your property, or any mortgage, they will evaluate your property, and they'll give you a report within 3 days of application, or notification within 3 days of application. As soon as they receive a copy, they'll give you a copy as well, and we will not close unless you have a copy, or even if we don't close, you get to keep a copy of the value of the property. So everybody is aware of the actual value of this property. Discovery and disclosure requirements. This is that period of time where we start a loan application, then they ask for other requirements along the way. For instance, copy the appraisals, written evaluations, and also any other documents like title that might show up or might be needed along the way. All right, let's move forwards. Brandon says computer died. Sucks. All right, so we're going to go into income ratio. What is income ratio? It's DTI, if you ever hear it. DTI. Debt to income ratio. Debt to income ratio. Write this down. That's the income ratio. And there's front-end ratio and there's back-end ratio. So the income ratio or housing expense ratio, right, establishes borrowing capacities by limiting the percent of gross income a borrower may spend on housing costs. Housing costs include principal, interest, taxes, and insurance, and may include monthly assessments like mortgage insurance and utilities. The income ratio formula is monthly housing expense, and this is PITI, housing expense, divided by monthly gross income equals income ratio. And we call this the front end ratio. If you ever see this, there's the front end ratio and then there's the back end ratio. Front end ratio and back end ratio. Now, to identify the maximum monthly housing expense an income ratio allows, we modify the formula as follows. Monthly gross income times income ratio equals monthly housing expense. Now look what it says here. Most conventional lenders require that this ratio be no greater than 25 to 28%. Okay? In other words, the borrower's total housing expenses cannot exceed 28% of gross income. For an FHA-backed loan, this ratio goes up to 31%. So conventional is 28 on average, and for FHA is 31. So here's an example. If a couple has a combined monthly income of $12,000, this is gross, $12,000, and the lender's maximum income ratio is 28%, the couple's monthly housing expense cannot exceed $3,360. Okay, so it's very simple. it's the monthly gross times the DTI ratio. That's the maximum. This is the max PITI. So the mortgage cannot be more than this. When you go buy a house, you're going to look at a house. Mortgage cannot be more than that. So they can reverse this and figure out how much house you can afford. Okay, so a house at $500,000 house at 3% will be $3,360 as an example, right? So what is your limit to buying a house? $500,000. So they'll know based on this. It's the bank's ratios. Bank ratios could be higher, could be lower. It all depends on what they want. Like right here, usually it's no greater than 25 to 28%. So they can choose whatever they want for conventional loans. Okay. The debt ratio. The debt ratio is PITI plus other debts. Okay, so for example, a car. So your mortgage cannot be more than X amount of dollars plus $600 for a car. So that's the max that you can afford. If your car payment and the mortgage exceed that, then you cannot buy this house. That's a debt ratio. And again, it's PITI plus other debts. Here's an example. Most conventional loans require the back-end ratio to be no more than 36%. For FHA, no more than 43%. So let's look at, and I'll explain this better in a second, for you guys to ask questions. Let's look at using the 36% debt ratio for conventional loans. The couple whose monthly income is $12,000, right? They'll be allowed to have monthly housing and debt obligations of $43,220. So remember, the gross income is the same. That did not change, right? On the front end ratio, it's 28%. So that's $3,360 is the maximum house that you can afford. On the back end ratio, the maximum house plus other debts cannot exceed $4,320. So if your car, let's look at math real quick. If your car is $600, right? What is the number? Right? $3,720. Your mortgage cannot be more than $3,720. So we took the $600 payment. If your car is more, like say you have a car and you have credit cards and a bunch of other things, then this just went down $3,520. Do you guys understand? So depending on the amount of debt that you have, that's deducted from that maximum that you can afford. That's called expenses and debt. Do you have any questions on this? Real quick, let me know. Questions? You'll have a question in the state exam, which will be, for instance, right here. Let's look at this. This could be a question in the state exam. They'll say a couple that has a combined income of, let's say, a year, $80,000 a year. They have $600 in car payments, assuming the bank wants a 28-36, right? A 28-36 qualifying ratio. What is the maximum that they qualify for? Because there's a loan there for the car, we need to use the 36 number. right? So the answer would have been this calculation right here. Okay? The answer would have been this. The maximum that they can afford is $3,720. Because we said they make $80,000 a year, you would have to divide that by 12. Of course, it's not this number. That would be $144,000 a year for both. But what you will have to do is figure out what's 36%, which is the back end ratio. What is 36% of that monthly income? So divide by 12. 36% will give you this amount or a different amount, right? Minus whatever the car payment is, and it gives you your answer. If it says no other debts, so they make $80,000 a year and they have no debts, assuming a 28-36 ratio, what is the maximum that they can afford? So then the question is based on the first calculation we did here, which is the 28% ratio. Because there's no debts, we use the first number, the front end ratio. If they said there's a car payment, then we use the 36%, which is the back end ratio. Okay? Questions? Throw me questions, please. I just saw a few hairs drop. Don't pull your hairs. All right. So you guys are going to help me. I'm going to give you an exercise. Is that cool? Something to do? All right, cool. So, Ahmed, what I was saying is that in this scenario, the typical ratio would be 28-36. And if that's what they were asking for, then that's the numbers you would use. Yes. But 28 is the front end, 36 is the back end. So, I was saying a couple I'll type so there's a prettier hold on. All right, now I'm getting it. There you go. I'm gonna type the question for you guys. A couple makes, that was my question, $80,000 a year, and boom. Doesn't that look pretty? That was all my handwriting, by the way. I've been practicing. All right. Do not put the answer in the chat. Do the calculations on your own. No answers in the chat, okay? Only when I ask for it. I'm going to do my math over here real quick. Okay. I got my numbers. Do you? Not yet? Okay. I'll give you some more time. A couple makes $80,000 a year and have no debts. Assuming a 28-36 ratio, what is the max monthly house expense they can? You guys talking, not calculating. Come on. What is the answer? YouTubers. It's something. I think you guys did not pay attention to this. They make $80,000 a year. You think the maximum mortgage they can afford is that much? Yep, read wrong. Reading is the #1 thing to pass the exam. Well, guys, a couple makes $80,000 a year. That's the first thing to look out for. A year. They're asking for monthly housing expense. The first thing we need to do is divide by 12. Divided by 12. That means they make 6,666. Don't ask me how I got to this, right? Per month. Okay, that's how much they make a month. I'll let you figure out the rest. Assuming a 28-36 ratio, what is the max monthly housing expense they can afford? Come on, YouTubers, what's going on? Give me those answers. This is just a monthly gross income. Monthly gross income. Tina, way wrong. It's okay. It's normal. All right, Ruth. Hey, perfect. All right, guys. So you had the first part right? Kinda. Yeah. So what you did, or some of you did, is you applied the 28%, the 28 right here. You applied to the 80,000. Regardless, you forgot one step. Divide by 12. So if you got 22,400, which is 28% of this, right? That's the yearly monthly, the yearly housing expense they're asking for monthly. So at one point, you guys need to get to the monthly. Okay, so divide by 12. Whether you do it here or you do it from the first amount, it's up to you. So here you go. 6,666.67 times 28% or 0.28, right? And this equals 1,866 EITI. That's the maximum monthly that they can afford. So if you as a couple make $80,000 a year gross, this is the maximum that you can afford if you go for a bank that gives you a 28% qualifying ratio. Okay. You did 36%. Well, remember, I wrote right here, they have no debts. Okay, so if they have no debts, then this number is not needed. Okay, if they said there's a car involved, right? There's a car, a $600 payment, whatever, then you would need this number. Other than that, nope. Everybody got it? Give me a thumbs up if you got it. Celine, did you get it? Okay. I just see you shaking your head. Where did I lose you? Let me know. Where did I lose you? Arlene, did you get it? Good. Let me know where I lost you. Can we do one more? Aren't you demanding? Let me answer. Let me answer Celine first. Maybe I'll think about another one. Ruth says, I don't know how I got that. Okay. I guess your calculator did. You missed a step? Okay. As long as you don't fall, we're good. So, what we had here, the key things to pay attention to, and guys, this is where we make mistakes in the state exam or the school exam, is not reading properly. So, the key things to look at. Pay attention here with me. A couple makes $80,000 a year, right? They have no debts, right there, no debts. And then assuming a 28-36 ratio, so that means 28% or 36% ratio, what is the maximum? Look what I have underlined here. What is the maximum monthly housing expense they can afford? So if they're giving us a yearly amount, and we need to figure out a monthly amount, at one point we need to divide by 12. Okay, so let me do the other way that could have happened as well. This is the answer, right? But you could have done 80,000 times 28%, right? Times 28%, and this would equal 22,400, right? But this is still a year. Again, they're asking for monthly, so now you would have to go 22,400, and you need to divide by 12. So it should give you the same amount. Cross check. Yep, 1,866. So whatever way you did it, just remember that at one point you need to divide by 12 because they gave you yearly, right? They give you yearly, and you need to figure out monthly. You got it, Celine? Okay, so that's where the step that you're missing. Okay, good. All right. Your mistake was they did 36 instead of 28. Correct. So you did it considering they had debts. And Denise is asking, what if they had debts? Very good question. We'll do it right now. So I'm going to clear all this. All right, look, same question, right? Same question, but now I put a car payment of $600. Do not put the answer in the chat until I ask you guys, but it's the exact same question, All I did was add a payment of $600. Assuming a 28-36 ratio, What is the maximum monthly housing expense that they can afford? And I'll do my math here. Remember, we're using a different percentage now. Do not give me the answer yet. Just going to show you how expensive a car can be for you. That's why a car, depending on the car you're getting, is a bad investment. Most people go like, oh, I got to drive a Mercedes. I got to drive a BMW. I got to this. I got to that. I got to look good. Fly, right? Yep. I'm going to show you right now. I'm going to prove to you. It's okay, Richard. But there's a step missing. It's okay. But there's a step missing. You almost got it. But I'm going to prove to you how it costs more. Jackie, don't assume that hey, Lula, I didn't ask for the answers yet. Jackie is like, see, you're not the only one, Richard. Don't write the answers yet. I'm giving enough time for everybody to calculate. YouTubers, calculate. Ed, kick her out, please. People that take you on vacation while in class can't interrupt my class. Sorry. And they're wearing the wrong name tag. Just worse. All right, guys. You guys ready to give me the answer? Ready, ready, ready? We already have 2 preemies. Gave me the answer too soon, but it's okay. Go. Give me the answer, everyone. Answers. YouTubers, give me answers. Okay. Francesca, great thought. The other way around. It was minus, not plus. Minus, not plus. Brandon and Ahmed, how did you get to the same number? I know how you got it. It's just wrong. I know how you got it. But I'm going to show it to you right now. Okay, I was waiting on YouTube to give me an answer. Since there's no answer, I'm going to move forward. You guys ready? Here's what it is. We already know that this amount is yearly and we need to bring it to monthly, correct? That we already know. So, $80,000. And we're going to divide by 12. And that was 6666.67 monthly. Right? We're good so far? That was step 1. Great. Now, because there's debt, there's a car, we're not using this number. We're using this number, 36%. Okay? So, we have 6666.67 times 0.36%. Right? So 6666.67 times 36%, and that equals 2,400. 0012. So I'm going to take the 00 stays with 2,400. But this is TI plus other debts. So this number, guys, is the total, including the debts, cannot exceed this number. So if that's the total, what we need to do next, guys, is deduct the expense and figure out what is the maximum housing that you can have. So 2,400 minus $600, and that equals 1,800 PITI only. Okay, so expense needs to be deducted. Okay, so that's the answer, 1,800. Okay. Okay. Now, I told you I was going to show you how a car could damage you, right? You probably don't see as much of a difference right now. But if you guys remember, without the car, the maximum house is 1,866, right? With the car, 1,800. So the car cost you $60 in approval. $60 in approval. So you guys know, for every $60, more or less, for every $60 of monthly obligation, you're losing $10,000 of purchasing power for every $60. So I'm going to show you again real quick. $60 equals $10,000 loss in purchasing power. If you have $600 in your car payment, right? It's the same thing as saying you lost $100,000. Why is this important? Guys, when you get into a pre-approval, okay, they're going to look at your current situation. Let's say you don't have a car right now, right? And they tell you, well, congratulations, Richard, congratulations, you got approved for a $400,000 house. Right? And Richard going to be all happy. $400,000 house, that's awesome, right? And then you look at your car and you're going to be like, I need to upgrade my car, because if I'm going to have a $400,000 house, I need to roll in a $40,000 car, as an example. So what is he going to do? He's going to get a $40,000 car. So this is a new $40,000 car. A $40,000 car is, depending on your credit, $600 a month. Okay? Guess what just happened to your approval, Richard? Guess what happened to your approval? Correct. We're 2 weeks away from closing, and you just lost $100,000. That means you can only afford a $300,000 house. Are we closing? Nope. Because the house you put an offer was $380 or $390 or $400, but you decided to get a brand new car, and we're not closing anymore. Rejected. We're not closing anymore. Okay? And this is the reason why, guys. This is the reason. Okay? Why we tell our clients, congratulations on your pre-approval. Give me your credit cards so you can shred them. Which hand do you use to write? You're a lefty or a righty? I need to break your hand so you don't sign anything. Right? In fact, you got approved for your current situation. Do not breathe over the next 3 months. Do not change jobs. Do not alter your financial conditions right now. Because for you to close, you need to be exactly where you are or better. Right? So that means lower ratios, not higher ratios. Okay? So we have to be very clear to our clients. Any change you make in your financial situation could cause us not to close. All right? Got to be clear to the clients. And look, it was just a $40,000 car. Okay? Can you change jobs the day after the closing? Can you buy a car the day after the closing? Can you buy the furniture the day after the closing? Look, after you have the keys in your hand and everything is signed, do whatever you want. Quit your job if you want. That's up to you, right? But until we close, do not sign for everything or co-sign. This happened recently to a student of mine, which was buying a house and decided to co-sign for the brother or something like that. Look, I love my brother. I love my sisters. But I'm about to close. You don't need that car that much. You can wait another month, right? Let me close and I'll sign. If you don't understand that, then you don't respect me or you don't love me the way I love you. So all I'm trying to do, my brother, my sister, is to close on my house and then I'll be able to help you. You understand? Simple. Do not do it before. Do not change jobs, all that good stuff. All right, let's look here at the questions. What we got? Do they count car debt, credit cards, and all that stuff? Yep. Anything that's revolving credit or installment credits could be counted for. Yep. Right here. So in that particular scenario, if someone was, if someone was dead set on getting a car, if they really wanted to get a car, I got it. I just saw if somebody was dead. I mean, I don't think they can buy or close if they're dead. They would just wait until the deal fully closes and then go, yeah, that's it. Then go for the car. After we close. After. Okay? You don't like your job or you're getting fired from your job, do whatever it takes. I mean, within reason. Do whatever it takes to stay in that job. Just a little push. Just another month. And then you can quit. Which is still a bad idea unless you have another job already or something else to, you know, take over. Because you don't buy a house and then quit your job and they have nothing, right? The same. Anyway, Stacy says that was good. Okay. The fact that we didn't close or the fact that you signed on the car right before closing? Anyway, guys. That's just a quick example. I think everybody understood how to calculate these things. All right, they look for income stability. That's what I was looking at right now, income stability. They look at cash qualifications. So guys, if you don't have enough cash for down payment or closing costs, you can get a gift from a family member. They can gift you the money. And it says gift, meaning you cannot they cannot expect you to pay back that money. It's not a loan, it's a gift. Okay? Nothing stops you from when they buy their house, you gift them money too. But for that instance, it's not a loan. It's not a payable back loan, okay? They're going to look at your net worth. They're going to look at your credit. Obviously, outstanding debts, as we were just talking about. Outstanding debts, payment behavior, all that good stuff. Oh, by the way, guys, right here, legal information, collection problems, lawsuits, and whatever. If you guys have issues with your credit, or if your client has issues with their credit, don't reject your client, right? The mortgage company will say no, but talk to your client and provide resources. There's a bunch of companies out there. Like we work with 2 companies here that do credit education, right? So they help you fix your credit, right? Sometimes, like I said, all you got to tell your client, look, we're not buying now, don't feel disappointed, but we can work things so that in a month, 2 months, or 3 months, you might be able to buy a house, right? So your credit's not so good right now. Let's see if we can work on it. Have you tried credit repair? Have you tried paying off some of your debt? Have you tried disputing some of these collections, right? There's a few things that we can do, but never, ever, ever reject your client because the loan officer said no. Okay, not all loan officers, just like not all realtors, are going to care for the client so much that they go the extra step to say, hey, don't worry, I got you. Here's the person you need to talk to, right? I don't vouch for their services. I'm not responsible for what comes out of it, but you have an opportunity to fix your life, and maybe just listening to one or two of these people might help you get a head start on that, on fixing that problem that you have. All right, but never let your clients go, because you know what happens? Your client got rejected by the bank for now, and you told your client, oh, I'm sorry, it didn't work out, right? And then a month later, your client is with somebody else and a different realtor. Do you think they're going to be loyal to you and come back? Oh, look, Brandon, I got my credit fixed. Would you help me buy a house? Do you think they're going to be that loyal? Most likely the person that does credit repair or that does credit education has a realtor for them to work with. So bye-bye clients. Every lead you need to nurture. Every lead you need to hold on to. Doesn't matter how good or how bad it is, those leads could turn into several referrals later on, right? So definitely don't let go because you have issues on your credit. Try to solve your issues first, or your client's issues, okay? So again, if the lender does deny on the loan on the basis of a credit report, the lender must disclose in writing that you're entitled to get a copy of that report. That's what it is. Okay. Sorry, just something. Okay, we'll stop right there. All right, now, when the lender's underwriters have qualified an applicant and the lender has decided to offer the loan, the lender will give the applicant a written notice of the agreement to lend under the specific terms. And this written process is called a loan commitment, or as we know, pre-approval. The simplest terms is pre-approval. The commitment may take a number of common forms, known as firm commitment, lock-in commitment, conditional commitment, or even a takeout commitment. But it's a loan commitment, like they will lend to you if nothing else changes. A firm commitment is a straightforward offer to make a specific loan of a specific interest rate for a specific term. That's the pre-approval where they tell you, hey, you're approved for a $300,000 house at 3% for 30 years. Boom. Okay, this is the most common that's being offered. A lock-in commitment is where we're telling you, oh, hold on a second. Does your credit increase if you're on the loan of another person? Great question. Let's go back to credit real quick. Great question, and here's the answer. If you guys want to boost your credit, look for somebody that has good credit and ask to be part of their credit cards or loans. So you don't have to use the loan. Like, I don't have to use the credit cards, but I can be on your credit, and that boosts my history. Okay, it boosts my credit score right away. But if you have negative stuff on your credit, it does not affect the other person. But if you have negative stuff, new credit cards might not help you that much until you fix whatever's negative. So it's pretty much, I gave this example to somebody the other day. It's pretty much, let's say you come out of work, right? After a long day of work, you went to work out, actually. You went to the gym. That's the best one. You went to the gym and work out, and you got home, and you realize, oh, I got to be at this place in 5 minutes. Do you have time to shower? No. So what are you going to do? You're going to put a bunch of cologne or perfume on. Are you going to smell any better because you put perfume over all the sweat? No. So yes, there's going to be a new scent, right? They might smell a little bit better, right? But the problem is still there. You did not fix it. You did not wash it. You did not clean it. So can you use, Jackie, that's a great question. Can you be on somebody else's credit? Will that improve yours? Yes. Right? Absolutely. You should be in as many as you can. You don't even have to use their credit cards at all. Okay? But if you don't fix your credit, then it's really not going to help that much. All right? Good? Great. Unless you're already in debt. What do you mean? you're already in debt, then you need to fix the issue. That's what I was saying. It won't help. Yeah. Let's say I have very good credit and you have no credit. I'll add you to my credit cards. I'll keep your credit card so you don't use it. It's just really to help you. I'll add you to my credit cards. It's called trade lines. Add you to my credit card, and your credit starts building right away. It boosts right away from 0 to something or a lot, right? If you have bad credit, then it'll go up like 5 points. Instead of being able to go up 20, 30, 40, it goes up 5 points. You got a new account with good credit, but then you have 10 accounts with bad credit. You need to fix these so your credit goes to 700s, 800s, and so on. Okay? All right. So where was I? Lock-in commitment. So back to lock-in commitment. Lock-in commitment is an offer to lend a specific amount for a specific term at a specific interest rate, but the interest rate is subject to an expiration date. So it's the same thing I said earlier about the firm commitment, is where I'm telling you, look, you're approved for $300,000 at 3% for 30 years. This commitment expires in 90 days. What does that mean? That 3% lock rate expires in 90 days. So if the market in 90 days, instead of 3, is at 4 or 5, then that's your new rate. We're locking it for 3 months. Doesn't matter what happens to interest rates, yours does not change. Flat, does not change. You guys got it? So the problem with the lock-in commitment also is that you're at 3%. What if the rates drop? They dropped a little bit more. What if they drop? Can you take advantage of it? No, because you're locked in. For the good, for the bad. Right? The marriage, that's it. Locked in. Okay? Conditional commitment, they say, hey, here's the loan if this happens or if that happens. So again, it applies usually to construction loans, and they'll keep on giving you money as long as you complete the phases of the stages of the construction. And then the takeout commitment is also for constructions, for instance, where the construction loan is for 1 year, but then you want to have a 30-year loan. So the takeout is a loan that will convert the construction to a long-term permanent loan. All right, the next question I got here is how long after paying off debt does it take for, like I said, a million other things after that, and we're back at credit. How long does it take for your credit to go up? So usually they do updates every 30 days, but that depends on how long does your company take, or the company you're paying, how long they take to report it. They have up to 60 days to report the changes. So if they report 60 days from now, it could only, maybe it will only reflect 30 days later. So that means 90 days. So it depends on how fast they are at reporting. Okay, Tina? All right. Denise, conditional commitment is the same as a conditional approval. So in this case is for construction loans, conditional commitment. Conditional approval is what we usually call a pre-qualification instead of a pre-approval. So a pre-qualification or conditional commitment is, hey, you told me you make $400,000 a year and your score is 800. You can buy $1 million house, right? That's pretty much what we're saying. Subject to me looking at your actual paperwork and verifying that everything is correct. Once they verify everything is correct, they'll give you a pre-approval. Even the pre-approval is a conditional approval because it's conditional to you not changing jobs. It's conditional to you not spending more money or signing for cars or for anything else. So it's always conditional until the actual closing. Until like 3 days before the closing, they say, nope, this is a final decision. We will help you. So everything is conditional until the end. Conditional to appraisal, conditional to inspections, conditional to a variety of things. Okay? Good, Denise? Okay. Any other questions? Can I move forward? Sure. All right. So, moving forward, we're going to close for today. So, that's it. Tomorrow, we're going to talk about closing a loan and the rest. So, we stop right here. I'll let you guys digest. It was a lot of info, right? I'm going to let you guys digest. Tomorrow, we're doing part 3 and part 4 of real estate financing. All right? Is that a deal? Awesome. Guys, if you have any questions, oh, sorry, Thursday, not tomorrow, guys. Sorry. Thank you, Tina. Thank you. Tomorrow is Veterans Day, right? Veterans Day. So we are off, or I am off, and you guys are still studying. Okay? So you still have that commitment of those hours. It's not a party day, okay? So take advantage, study, send me a bunch of questions. Sorry, Mr. Badur, time's over. No more questions for you. Thanks, Ruth. Appreciate it. Go ahead. What's your question? 2 or 3K? We'll talk about it tomorrow. We're going to go over 2 or 3Ks tomorrow. It's going to be a brief mentioning of the 2 or 3Ks, but we'll talk about it tomorrow, okay? Not tomorrow, Thursday. I teach every day, so I get confused. Sorry. All right, guys. Enjoy your Wednesday, hump day, right? I'll see you on Thursday. Thank you. Have a good night.